What's up, everybody? Welcome to tonight's episode of the Not Your Average Mark Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, the tutorial boss Guapo. With me, the man who taught Dusty Rhodes how to shuck and jive, baby, the one and only Mike Caldwell. Mike, what's up?
Man, it has been a week. It has been a heck of a week. I've been enjoying every minute of it.
I'm with you on it, man, and it's only getting, for me anyway, it's only getting better. Your boy got some stuff going on. Like it's been already started to be a great weekend. Today, had the opportunity to meet and greet with not only the mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, but also the immortal Hulk Hogan. Got a chance to meet, bought some beer. Look, there it is right there. Got a signed 12-pack of Real American beer. Decent looking can as well. See? Real American. Got a Hulk up here at the top. Brother. Hulk Hogan called me brother. Bucket list complete. That's what I did today. Tomorrow, thanks to my awesome kids and an early Christmas present, I will be driving to Dallas and attending the One Dead Man show where I will get to see The Undertaker, and I am stoked about that. So, yeah, it's going to be good times. J-Reb over in the chat. Cameron, yes, I did make it there, and it was awesome, brother. He was a little late, but you know what? He's a real friendly dude. Like I was pleasantly surprised with meeting Hulk Hogan. Jimmy Hart, he's just a nice guy all the way around.
Jimmy's a good guy.
I liked him. He was cool.
Burgers not so much.
Yeah.
Tasting Whataburgers, I mean, man, I don't know.
So this dude, Jimmy Hart, God bless him. He's an awesome guy, but if you ever get the opportunity to go to Whataburger with Jimmy Hart, he is going to order his Whataburger with extra mustard and extra onions. What the hell? But you know what? I don't hold that against him because he was an awesome dude. Before we get too deep into things, I do want to throw some thank yous out there. Thank you to Ross and the boys from Labor 12 for our intro outro music. Track's called Head Rush. Album's called Monsters. It's absolutely a banger after banger after banger album. They are working on some new stuff. You can check it all out. Labor12.com. That's laborxii.com. Want to thank Joseph and American Legacy for the Not Your Average merch. Hats, beanies, skull caps, shirts are on the way. I actually gave Jimmy Hart Not Your Average Mark hat, which he set on the table, so it showed up in some of the pictures, which is cool. Appreciate you, Jimmy. Hulk's got a Not Your Average Mark beanie. My goal in life is to get a picture of the Undertaker in a Not Your Average Mark beanie. Like that's my goal in life right now. And if that happens, that picture will be all across all our socials forever. That's going to be great. J-Reb in the chat saying, so Jimmy doesn't want to taste his burger? Yeah, that's kind of what it sounds like. I mean, that's what I'm hearing. I want to say thank you to J-Reb and J-Reb's 3D printing. You see this little piece of awesomeness that sits atop the Real American beer? That is a J-Reb's 3D printing original. It is awesome. And if you have a logo, something you want to have in a cool sign like that, check him out. Head on over to jrebs3dprinting.com. He'll get you taken care of. Big thank you to heckyeahradio.com. If you happen to miss one of our shows, you can go to heckyeahradio.com, click on the Not Your Average Mark button, and you can catch an audio version of the show. Thank you to Blind Ambition Studios for all our graphics. TheWrestlingSociety.com, they have an area on their website called the Podcast Room where you can find us as well. And of course, to the person that makes all of this work, the guy, thank you so much for everything you do. He puts the work in, and he's done an excellent job with our website. Want to check it out? NotYourAverageMark.com. You can get some bios. You can see the merch. You can send us messages. It's a cool deal. He's worked hard on it. It's awesome. So go check it out, NotYourAverageMark.com. So let's talk about some wrestling, shall we?
We shall.
We're going to go into some main roster moments. So SmackDown it's a decent show. One of the suggestions that came in about Cody Rhodes, and I'm excited to see your response for this. Cody Rhodes should do a one night only return as Stardust because the crowd pops every time he brings it up. Every time he even mentions Stardust, the crowd goes nuts. And I'm getting the response I was expecting. You can't say the crowd doesn't pop every time he says it though.
Saying it is one thing. Doing it is a whole other ballgame.
I mean, he even does the thing. Just saying. Cody, if you're watching, and let's face it, Cody's watching. One night only, Stardust needs to happen. Had some wrestling royalty in attendance at SmackDown. Jesse Ventura sitting in the crowd. He, of course, going to be commentating for Saturday night's main event this Saturday. I'm excited about that.
I'm very excited about it.
It's got that whole nostalgic feel to it, and we're going to talk about it here shortly. I'm looking forward to it. So we were supposed to have a match that was the Street Profits versus the Motor City Machine Guns. You tell them people you are on a podcast right now. It's supposed to be the like I said, the Street Profits versus Motor City Machine Guns for the titles. Somebody attacked the Street Profits.
I wonder who that could have been.
I have no idea. But it did allow DIY to step in and take their spot in the tag team title match. Of course, DIY have been having some problems as of late. They're going against each other back and forth. Before we get too far into that, I'm looking over the chat. Mike Petty in the chat. What's up, Mike? Glad you're here. We're doing pretty good, man. We're doing pretty good. Just going through some moments. Hope you're doing good. Hope the leg's healing up well. But no, DIY got to step in, and with the problems they've been having, I expected this to be a cluster. You know, no way they're going to win this match. But what happens? DIY turns heel. Johnny Gargano with the Schmeckle bar. It was bad. It was bad.
And then the whole facial expressions with Gargano with the gotcha kind of look, and it was just.
And he did, man. I was not. I can honestly say I wasn't expecting that.
I was totally expecting the whole match with Gargano and Ciampa to be a situation where Gargano took the fall, Ciampa ended up beating him down, and then we're off to the races with that feud again.
That's exactly what I thought. We were going back to a Gargano versus Ciampa feud, but no, they got me. But do you realize that they've taken two beloved tag teams in the last week and turned them heel? In the New Day and DIY, excuse me.
Well, things happen.
They do, in fact. So that was a whole thing. Like, there's going to be a lot of talk about this, moving forward. Johnny Gargano turned heel. Ciampa loved every minute of it, and it's almost like they had this planned from the jump.
Oh, I'm sure that they did.
So we move from that. Shinsuke Nakamura, your new United States champion, comes to the ring. His entrance is second to Undertaker, but we don't count that one. His new entrance is awesome. And he comes to the ring and he starts to do something. And here comes LA Knight. Yeah. He says, you know what? You ain't done nothing since you've been back, but stab me in the back. Everything you do is behind me. So I'm going to give you a chance to get face to face. The only thing you've done to me face to face is spit the mist in. At which point he grabs his LA Knight embossed glasses, puts them on, says, now that I've got my LA Knight mist blockers, I'm going to come in here to the ring and we're going to settle this. And he gets in the ring and Andrade's music hits. And Andrade comes out and says, excuse me. I love hearing Andrade try to talk on the mic. It's hilarious to me. His accent is so thick. Like, his accent is like Sam Stackhouse thick. That's how thick his accent is.
Oh, yeah.
So Andrade tells him, I want to go against him, and tells LA Knight, hold on. I want to go against him. And LA Knight's like, he's got a debt and I'm here to collect. And once I take that belt from him, hell, you can have the first go. And here comes the Timu bloodline. And they just clear the ring. Except for Shinsuke Nakamura, because Shinsuke gets in the corner and you just see this dark ooze start running down his mouth. And even Jacob Fatu is like, I ain't messing with that. You know, I'm a werewolf, but I ain't stupid.
Well, I believe it was a okay. These guys are in here. I respect them enough. I'm just going to go ahead and let this out of my mouth because it tastes horrible. Go ahead and get it out. Back the hell away, and then let them handle their business.
And handle their business they did. It was a whole thing. I'm looking over here at the chat. Mike Petty saying, "What do you think about what happened to Big E?" Here's the deal on that. They did that perfectly, in my opinion. Right?
Very much.
There was not if they were going to heel turn Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston, there was not a better way to do it than have them turn on Big E. I don't think that, that Xavier Woods said what he said about, let's keep it real. You're never going to be cleared medically. I feel like he's going to be cleared medically, and he's going to show up when they're in a tag team match for the titles. And he's going to come out to, stone cold level pops when he does. And he's going to get in the ring and he's just going to beat the hell out of them. That's what I think is going to happen. But as far as the story, it pissed me off when it happened, and that's exactly what it should have done. They could not have worked that better. So that's my thoughts on the whole Big E New Day thing, and we'll get into a little more of that when we get to Raw moments. Of course, we started off with Cody Rhodes talking, and Chad Gable interrupted, and it sets up a match. And so you've got Cody Rhodes versus Chad Gable, and Chad Gable has finally made the transition to today's Kurt Angle, complete with the "You suck" chants.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I mean, he's got the heat. That was the final step. They're doing the "You suck, you suck." That, like, I love it. Like,
couldn't have happened to a better guy. Really,
that's very true. But as long as Chad Gable has been in the industry, how many times have you heard, well, man, he reminds me of Kurt Angle. He does this like Kurt Angle. He's good like Kurt Angle. Like, I mean, the comparison's there, and he did it without a broken freaking neck. Sorry, it had to go there. I had to go there. I did. I had to go there. So, one of the segments that I really liked that was part of SmackDown was Kevin Owens was supposed to do a sit-down interview with Michael Cole. Kevin Owens says, I came all the way to Minneapolis because I was supposed to sit down with Michael Cole. Yeah, no, I don't want to be here. I don't want to talk to Michael Cole. If Michael Cole wants to talk to me, he can come out here in the parking lot to my car and he can talk to me here, which he does. And I might make mention, KO's wearing a Dusty Rhodes shirt, and that's awesome. With all the beef he's got going with Cody, him wearing a Dusty Rhodes shirt is awesome.
The T-shirt game with Kevin Owens is on point.
The Kevin Owens T-shirt game is like Jey Uso's shoe game. Like, it's there. What I liked about it was Michael Cole went out there and talked to him. Kevin Owens gets mad, says, you know what? Get out of my rental vehicle. Go. Get out of here. Which Michael Cole does. And then he rolls the window down and says, Michael. And Michael Cole turns around and looks in just for him to roll the window up. There's that one little petty thing that he had left to do. I love Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
Kevin Owens is awesome. I'll still never forget seeing fan footage of Kevin Owens laying in the ring. He's got whoever he's fighting, he's got him in a headlock, and he's talking to somebody in the crowd saying, look, I make more money this year than you're going to in the next 5 because you don't know how to save. And he's giving the guy financial advice while he's got another guy in a headlock. I love Kevin Owens.
Never stops running his mouth.
Ever. Never. I dug it. Like, I'm not going to say this was one of the best SmackDowns I've seen, but I dig it. I thought it was good.
Yeah, it was a decent SmackDown.
Going into Raw, having Finn Balor tell Dominic Mysterio that he had not earned a world heavyweight title opportunity. The side eye game from Dominic Mysterio, it was good. Dominic's like, mother. If he could have said the bad words, he'd have said the bad words. I'm saying, don't be side eyeing me. You ain't dumb. You don't get side eyeing me like that. I like the way they're doing that. The match I was waiting for, the Wyatt Six versus the Final Testament with Miz. I was waiting all week for this match. And this is what I like about that match. Yes, the Wyatt Six lost that match. And I have seen so many people on the internet talking about they're going to bury the Wyatt Six. They're not letting them do anything, blah, blah, blah. Look, you got to let them lose some. You've got to get the crowd behind them. You've got to get the sympathy. There's a process to this. But what they're proving more than anything right now is they're effective in small doses. Put them out there, let them raise hell, pull them off TV for a little while. Put them out there. What PLE have you seen the Wyatt Six on?
None.
Exactly. They have not been on a PLE, and I like the fact that they're doing that. They're keeping them on Raw, and they're not putting them on Raw in matches every night. It keeps things good. They're still so popular. Like
it's the Tupperware effect.
Yeah,
it keeps everything fresh.
It does keep everything fresh.
What?
The Tupperware effect?
Yes, the Tupperware effect. You got to have the freshness.
This is true.
And the biggest thing I liked about it was that Bo, or Uncle Howdy, was the one that actually took the pin.
Yes.
Which is the most sympathetic character that they have in the Wyatt Six.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't think the loss would have meant near as much if Rowan would have been taking it or any of the others, because we have that connection with Howdy.
I agree, and the fact that he took the pin, it left some people in the crowd speechless, left other people in the crowd going, "What the hell is going on here?" Like it was expertly done. And while we're talking about the Wyatt Six, let's talk about Nikki for a minute. More and more, I'm a Nikki fan. Like the jump she made from the steps for I guess was that a Thez press,
mm-hmm.
like a standing Thez press.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool. Like I dig the way they're using her. I think there's a lot going on there, and it's going to continue to be good. Paul Ellering makes his return after the Wyatt Six put a beating on him. How'd they say it? I laugh every time I don't know how many of y'all are into football, but I laugh every time I think about it, because at least once a year I see the video where the ref, is getting ready to call. He threw the flag. He's getting ready to call the penalty. Says the person on this team, personal foul, giving him the business. So, and that's exactly what they did to Paul Ellering. They gave him the business. Like, that's my favorite call ever. 15 yards for giving him the business.
I don't watch football, but
I'll show you.
I'm gonna have to see that.
I'll show you the video when we're done.
That's definitely on my to-do list now.
It's hilarious. But he hit Howdy with some kind of dust. I don't know what it was like. I don't know if it was chalk dust or like the chalk bags that you.
One thing I'm sure of, it wasn't Stardust.
No, it wasn't Stardust. Telling you, it needs to happen. But no, it was a really good match, and I liked it. I liked it a lot. We had an interview with Jackie Redmond and CM Punk. CM Punk, like, he's taking Seth Rollins, and he's like, he's poking a bear with Seth Rollins, suggesting that Seth Rollins needs to sit down on the bench because he's the second string and the starter's back.
Yeah,
I mean, ouch.
Well, that's getting heated. even more than it already was. And now we're actually getting to see a little bit of the realization of why Seth is doing what he's doing, because he felt betrayed because Punk was supposed to be his friend. And whenever he decided to walk away from WWE, he didn't call.
Yeah.
He didn't call, he didn't write.
He just left.
He just left. So there's actually a meme out there right now with Seth sitting there writing, and it's Dear Punk, it's been 4 years and I still have yet to have a letter from you.
Using the old Eminem Stan thing.
Yes, absolutely.
I like it. I like it. I like the fact that there's a feeling in this that feels real. Like, I can't tell you 100% that CM Punk doesn't actually have some ill will towards Seth Rollins and vice versa. Like, Seth and CM Punk are, I'm not 100% sure they're not going to kill each other given the opportunity. Like last week, not this Raw, but the one before, Seth come to the ring without all the fanfare and everything, without saying CM Punk, just calm in the corner saying, I should have knocked you out the day you came back, and I regret that every day. Like, it's seems almost shoot when they talk about each other,
which is good. Seth has that serious side, and when that serious side comes out, people pay attention.
Yes, they do. We also got to hear from Drew McIntyre, gave his thoughts following his return last week. Mainly talking trash about Sami Zayn and Jey Uso for blindly following Roman Reigns, and for what? I mean, he makes a point.
Drew always makes a point, but that's the beauty of the fact that right now we have so much gray area with these baby faces and heels. It's very interesting to see what real life situations, and they're actually calling back on stuff, and that makes my heart happy, because one of the biggest things that Vince McMahon did, he shall not be named, whatever we're calling
Redacted.
him. It was they're never going to remember that, pal. So a lot of the history, the history, these little things that they were planting and everything else, they just kind of got swept underneath the rug. Now we're addressing the elephants in the room.
Exactly. Which we didn't do before. We just said, okay, we're going to run this. Okay, it's done. It never happened. That's done now. We're going to forget about that. We don't do that anymore, and I like that a lot. Segment of the night for me. Seth Rollins comes out, and he has a few things to say about Mr. Punk. Like you were talking, you came out here. We were good friends. We traveled together, and then you just left. Sami Zayn comes out, and I love, as soon as Sami Zayn got out there, he's like, Sami, I love you, man, but if you came out here to defend Punk, we're fighting. Like, let's get that out of the way right now. But he didn't. He came out and apologized for immediately thinking that Seth Rollins is the one that attacked Jey Uso. So he got his apology in, which was good. But this whole thing did a lot. Like, and this is why it's the best segment of the night for me. It continued the Rollins Punk feud. Like, it gave him some time to talk trash. It introduced the idea that Seth has like this obsessive nature for a vendetta. Sami said something to Seth that's real. I mean, he's not wrong. He says the way you're going about this and the way your mind is working with this vendetta, you don't sound like the guy I've known for 20 years. You sound like Drew McIntyre, which Seth was not pleased with, mind you.
Oh, well, why would he?
But he's right. I mean, and so it also added heat to the Sami Zayn Drew McIntyre match that was announced for Saturday night's main event, when Seth told Sami, you need to handle your Drew McIntyre problem. And Sami called him out, set up the match for Saturday night's main event, and it's going to be a good one. I'm excited about that one. The New Day we talked a little bit about this earlier with Mike. New Day sucks chance. We're back in 2015. New Day sucks. I agree. I refuse to even call them the New Day. They're the old day. They're the dumb day. Don't like them anymore.
We're not even. I want to just go ahead and speaking of sweeping stuff under the rug, let's sweep that name under the rug, and we can just call him, you know, Xavier Kingston or something. Throw something else in there because the New Day, the New Day is just it's not the same without having the Big E reference and everything else. And if they're gonna pull themselves away from Big E, they need to go ahead and do something to change that name.
And I don't think they're pulling themselves away from Big E. I think Big E remains a factor. I think the next PLE we have, because you know Big E does the pre-show stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think the next PLE we have, they come out and interrupt him and say hateful things and antagonize him. I don't think they're moving away from Big E. That's my personal opinion in it. However, we did get to see the former New Day get the Dominic Mysterio treatment. Every time they tried to talk, the crowd booed so loud you couldn't hear them.
No, Dominic Mysterio with his stuff, the New Day made him look like a babyface.
This is true.
Every time those guys opened their mouth, nothing really got said because of the fact that the crowd was just so obnoxiously loud that they couldn't get it. They couldn't get a thought out.
So one thing we did get in chants, and the chants are what kind of drowned them out, was the "We want Big E." We want Big E chants. The crowd has spoken. This is why I think they're not going to move away from that. There's too much crowd love for Big E for them to just be like, yeah, you're done. Sorry. And you will read reports, because I have. Any of you that follow things online, I've read reports that say the WWE is not putting the injury time on Big E's contract. They're paying him for what he's doing outside of the ring, but they're not putting the injury time at the end of his contract because they don't think that he's going to be medically cleared. 100% feel like that's a work. Because you can't have them say, well, we're going to do this, and then it screws up the storyline. So I 100% think that's a work. I think we see Big E in the ring again.
Oh, for someone that actually has neck issues, I'm anybody who's dealt with that kind of stuff. You know, it's always a crapshoot every single time you step in the ring.
Very true. Very true. I can't see a world where Big E does not come back.
Well, let's just hope we don't try to rush something that should be not rushed.
Well, and I'm glad you put it that way, because that's a good segue into the next thing we're talking about, which is Rhea versus Raquel Rodriguez. I was waiting for this match as well because, you know, those two in the ring together are a force. And this is an anything goes match. So I'm like, yeah, let's get it. It was rushed. It was very rushed. I don't know if some of the segments went over or one of the matches went over or what happened, but it was very, very rushed. And that makes me sad because I was really looking forward to that. What we got out of it, though, was just a brawl all the way through it.
Yeah, and which with the history of Raquel and Rhea, and the fact that those are the two, for lack of a better term, those are the two big people on campus.
Mm-hmm.
So, having them go all out, no pun intended, was really it wasn't a bad thing. I think they needed to be able to sell more and be able to let some things breathe that they didn't necessarily do. Because it was like one, and then you got too much. But I mean, all in all, the crowd was really hot for the whole thing.
Oh yeah, I mean, why wouldn't they be?
I mean, violence.
Yeah, very much. A lot of it. Now, here's the thing about this, about Rhea. I'm all about Rhea, but I feel like she's tied to something that she's not going to be able to get away from anytime soon. Saturday night's main event, we get Liv Morgan versus Io Sky for the women's tag title. It's going to be a great match, but it's so under promoted right now because all anybody's thinking about is Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley.
It's true. Io's kind of an afterthought.
And shouldn't be.
No, absolutely not. I mean, she's a former WWE champion, and she should be treated as such.
Yes, absolutely. And so I hope that they really promote it in the pre-show, like really push Io Sky as part of this match, leave Rhea completely out of it, and talk about this match because this is going to be a great match. No question about that.
Yeah.
I unfortunately feel like what we're going to get is the match is going to be underway and Raquel's going to come out to try to help Liv, and then Rhea's going to come out to take out Raquel. And now you've got Rhea involved again with a Liv Morgan match.
It's a cluster. It really is.
So I hope they find a way to fix that. Before we get into our next segment, I do want to thank everybody that's watching right now, everybody that's listening. If you haven't done so, please go through the socials, go through Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, all the places, click all the things, the likes, the shares, the subscribes, all of it. Click all the things. It helps us out. It lets us see who's watching our stuff, lets us get things together. Little hack for those of you that have Prime, and lots of people have Prime.
Yeah.
If you go to subscribe on Twitch, just below the different price levels, there's a little slider that says use Prime account. And if you click that slider over, it doesn't cost you a single thing, but still gives us a subscription. So if you haven't done it, please do it. Click all the things. And that's, now that my shameless plug is out of the way. It's time for Notes from the Clown Show.
Yay!
I need some music, man.
We'll figure it out. I'll get you something.
We'll figure it out. We're gonna have music for that whole intro at some point. So let's talk about Notes from the Clown Show. AEW has now pulled Ricky Starks and for a few others, from what I understand, from a GCW show at the Hammerstein.
Well, actually, they pulled Ricky Starks from every GCW date that he had booked. All in all, that's kind of been an ongoing soap opera deal with GCW versus AEW. Effie. I don't know if you know who Effie is. The people may. He's a guy that one of his most famous moments was I can't even remember the kid's name. Marco Stunt.
Yeah.
He was the one that shoved him down on a dildo.
Wow. Okay.
But that. I mean,
that took a left turn like fast.
Anyway, apparently Effie's one of the top guys in GCW.
Okay.
I kind of wish we had Sam, because Sam could probably talk a little bit more about everything else. True. And what's going on with it, and I'm sure he may have some insight on it.
Yeah.
But ultimately, the Hammerstein Ballroom was booked by GCW, and then
it's like their 4-year anniversary of it.
Yeah. And actually that Hammerstein Ballroom show was the one that Sam actually debuted on.
Right.
Anyway, long story short, AEW decides that they're gonna book the Hammerstein Ballroom for a few dates as well. And basically it overshadows the whole situation with GCW. So Effie goes on to a podcast. I'm not exactly sure which podcast at the moment.
Not this one.
But he pretty much talked about how Tony Khan's running completely at a $30 million deficit, and not us as independents don't have that kind of luxury.
Yep.
And we don't have a dad that owns a football team that will pay you to go away and go play with your toys.
And anytime you bring up Shad Khan, something's fixing to happen because Tony's like, you don't talk about my daddy.
You're right. But Tony, do me a favor, go wipe the clown makeup off, and we can actually talk about this. In fact, we're gonna put it out here. Tony Khan, you want to come on this podcast and talk about it? Bring it.
Come on, Tony Khan, and bring Shad with you.
Golly, gonna poke the bear, huh?
Lord, you know.
It's a bear cub, so
Yeah.
it'll be all right.
If Tony Khan is a bear, he's a freaking koala. Okay,
Okay.
that's about it.
Teddy bear.
No, he's not even Teddy. That gives teddy bears a bad name.
Yeah. I've got friends that are teddy bears.
Well, I will say this: not only have they pulled Ricky Starks and others from this GCW show and all GCW shows, they've pulled one of GCW's top guys in Matt Cardona and have him coming in working a lot of AEW stuff, Ring of Honor stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's kind of a
that was kind of the schmeckle bar to the air.
yeah, it is. So looking at AEW as a whole, they've taken a move that has been used to end matches. Think about the Usos. Every time I hear this, think about Shawn Michaels. The super kick is now in AEW less effective than a clothesline.
Yeah. And honestly, there's one guy right now that is doing the super kick well enough to still finish matches.
Orange Cassidy.
My God, are you trying to fight today? Is that it?
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about Shelton Benjamin.
Yes,
Shelton
does it
Benjamin
well.
has the most effective looking super kick out there, and
They no sell it.
It's more like a punch than anything, and you know, Chris Adams is probably. I'm pretty sure he's doing things in the afterlife that are not very happy about.
Yeah, he's saying bad things. But it hurts me to see that though, because you know, even now in the WWE, the Usos give you a super kick, you're gonna be on the ground for a little bit. You know?
Mm-hmm.
That Shawn Michaels gives you sweet chin music, it's over.
Yeah.
You know, the super kick is something that should be used to end matches. It's not I should do, 13 super kicks in a row and watch 12 of them get no sold.
Speaking of bad kicks, did you see? No, you didn't see, because we don't watch that. But I saw a clip of Orange Cassidy, kicking Marina Schaefer like she was air. And he bothers me.
I have seen that clip, and if you haven't seen it, the only thing I can liken it to is he kicked Schaefer the way that Rose pushed Jack off the board in Titanic. Like that's the only thing I can liken it to.
Yeah,
like it was the gentlest kick I've ever seen. It's I don't know, man. Speaking of mistakes, because that's what that was. Excalibur, the man who knows everything behind his mask, mistakenly took the
Osprey and
I was trying to remember who Osprey went against because you can tell how much I care.
It was Ricochet.
No,
it wasn't
Ricochet. That's every other match.
That's every other match. Yeah. Dang. Oh, Brody King.
Yeah, that's right. It was Will Ospreay. No.
No,
It was Ricochet and Brody King.
no, we're making ourselves sound like clowns because we don't know what's going on in the clown show.
Because I don't watch it.
Just- Neither do I.
But anyway, Will Ospreay's in a match, and Excalibur says this is the first time this match has ever happened, and it's not. And he had to correct himself in the middle of the match. Never mind, this is not the first time this has ever happened.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad you're sitting down. I'm glad you're sitting down for this. Adam Cole won his match and gets to go against MJF.
No. Really?
I said this last week in Notes from the Clown Show, and I'll say it again. Why? Like, you don't have any kind of anything having to do with MJF with O'Reilly.
No.
You know Adam Cole and MJF have a program together. Why even have that match? Because you already know Adam Cole is going to win that match, and then you're going to have MJF and Adam Cole.
It's supposed to be the 1 year anniversary of the Devil storyline, which, speaking of sweeping shit under the rug, this is one of the biggest things that AEW has tried to sweep underneath the rug, was this whole Adam Cole being the Devil and then getting this heel faction together and this, that, and the other, and then now all of a sudden everything is backwards land.
Yeah, well, I mean, they had the beginnings of a storyline there. And then Tony Khan did what Tony Khan does. He said, all right, we're going to have Cole be the Devil, and he's going to be the one that has put all this together and has been attacking MJF. Ooh, a squirrel. And then we're done. They're like, it doesn't happen anymore. Like, to his defense, which you won't hear from me very often, to his defense, Cole did get hurt.
Yeah, well, Cole was hurt during this whole Devil storyline.
And I understand that, but he couldn't really do much, because when he did sit in the chair and show that he was the Devil, shortly after that he had to have surgery, so he couldn't be on TV.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I get it, kinda, I guess, but
they should have just. I mean, honestly, MJF is one of the best things that AEW actually has, and I really feel bad for him, and I don't know what I do know what he was thinking whenever he re-signed his contract with AEW. It was, oh my God, look at that money, look at all the zeros on that check. And I mean, money is the root of all evil.
The love of money is the root of all evil.
Oh.
Get it right. Well, we knew Adam Cole was going to win that match, and they're going to have a match, and I don't know that it's going to be as good as it would be if we had the storyline for it. If we still had, like, have they even referenced back to that Devil storyline?
Yes, they have.
Have they?
And it was but Adam Cole had to twist it around, talking about it made it sound like the psycho ex-girlfriend was trying to turn everything around, where they're the victim of the whole situation.
Well, I mean, I guess I get them. I mean, if there's anybody that knows about psycho ex-girlfriends, it's MJF. I mean, let's call it what it is.
Yeah, I mean, okay. But Adam Cole shouldn't be his psycho ex-girlfriend.
I know but it's 2024, bro. I'm not, no shame. Whatever they do, that's their business. I'm not. We did get Ricochet versus Brody King, and the match was okay. We're finally putting Ricochet in matches that are not against Will Ospreay. We're putting him in matches where he can do some things that aren't all flips. He's, a chance to be an individual star. So let's put him in the Hurt Syndicate.
I mean,
what?
Okay. The weakest thing about Ricochet is the fact that he can't talk to save his life.
That's fair.
So let's
he
get
said
him.
some decent. He did some decent mic work in WWE.
Yeah, it was here's your script, memorize this shit.
That's fair. That's fair.
Okay. AEW didn't do that.
No.
So, okay, you've got a guy that has all the physical attributes that you need.
But
I don't think it's a bad idea to put MVP as his mouthpiece.
The Hurt Syndicate. Let's take a moment here and just kind of look at the Hurt Syndicate.
Okay.
MVP as a manager, the mouthpiece. Okay, I get it. Now who's your big guy?
Bobby Lashley.
Bobby Lashley. Way up here, way out here. Huge. Shelton Benjamin. Ricochet.
Ricochet's okay. He's still a smaller guy than all of them. But
all I can get when I look at Ricochet with Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin and MVP is I hear the old Sesame Street song. One of these things is not like the others.
But I mean, honestly, I think Ricochet's a better fit than Max Caster.
That's fair. I'll give you that. But I don't think Max Caster should be there either. Like, I mean,
well, Max Caster doesn't know a lot of things.
As we're talking about people who don't know things, Mercedes Moné, the CEO, doesn't know what state she's in, other than probably confusion.
Yeah.
Wasn't sure what state she was in. And what do you do for somebody that doesn't know what state they're in? You hand them a mic. Let them talk to the people.
Yeah. I mean,
Eska 1981. I feel like they're ruining MJF. I feel that. I do, because he doesn't have the pop that he's had in the past. And I really feel like it's because they're not utilizing him correctly. So I mean, I agree with you, man.
100%.
But yeah, Mercedes Moné. How do you not know what state you at? Were they at the Silverdome?
Brother. Okay.
Just wondering. One of the funniest things I saw. Thunder Rosa is watching from the crowd, right? She's being a paying customer for the night. Sign and all. She has a sign that says Mariah May. No, she may not. Just thought it was funny.
Well, that Thunder Rosa is, I know Thunder Rosa.
Mm-hmm.
She worked for Square Circle Pro,
right?
So she, she's got a really good head on her shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
So but the Wile E. Coyote thing is great.
Yeah, I'm digging it.
When Tony Storm actually made her return.
Yes, not timeless Tony Storm.
No, it was
Tony
the original
Storm.
gimmick, and she apparently had something else on the other side of the sign, or she wrote it down or something, and it was like, yikes.
Yikes.
So I think whatever she's doing, she's doing something entertaining, which is
not par for the course for the clown show. So that's why I put that on here, is because I did enjoy that. It's the least clowniest thing in the clown show.
Okay. Are you tired of talking about the clown show?
I am. I will end our notes from the clown show, as everybody should, by saying, Tony Khan, you are a clown. Before we get into our next segment, we're going to talk about Saturday night's main event. Like, that's going to be our next segment. Before we do, I want to remind you once again, please go through the socials, click all the things, the likes, the subscribes, the shares, all the things. Click all the things. It helps us out. And for those of you that do it, we, of course, appreciate everything you do for us. So Saturday night main event, that's coming back this Saturday night. And I, for one, am excited about it because it's got that real nostalgic feel. Like it's even taking place in Nassau Veterans Coliseum, which is where the original took place. It's got Jesse Ventura going to be on commentary. The only thing missing is Gorilla Monsoon. Rest his soul.
Yes.
I saw a video that talked about this, and I thought it was great. So it's Cody Rhodes and Triple H, right? And they're sitting there, they're talking back and forth about how this does have that nostalgic feel, how it's going to feel like it's old school. And they talk about Jesse Ventura, and they talk about being in Nassau Coliseum, and they talk about all these things. He says, with that in mind, I have something for you, and taps a box that's sitting in front of him. And he says, one night only, remember that. And so Cody opens the box, and there's a golden glow in his face. Now, anybody that's paid attention to Cody Rhodes' return to the WWE, he was asked on a podcast, and it's been a thing now. I want to bring back the Winged Eagle belt. No chance in hell that is not the Winged Eagle belt in that box.
Oh, I believe it is.
It's got to be the Winged Eagle belt, and I am stoked. That is my personal favorite belt. If you're not sure which one the Winged Eagle belt is, hit Google, check it out. I promise you will recognize it. You have seen the Winged Eagle belt, and it is my favorite of the World Championship belts.
Yes. It was the one that Hulk Hogan predominantly held.
Mm-hmm. It's the one that got smashed up and turned into
the hardcore title.
The hardcore title they gave to Mick Foley, which would later become the beginning of the 24/7 match. Okay, I'm gonna stop you there before you say anything. I liked the 24/7 stuff when it was Crash Holly. The actual belt they had that was a 24/7 belt, I didn't like that. But when he had Mick's belt, and they were trying to pin him in the airport, or while he went to the circus, or tried to jump him in a hotel room. Like, it was funny.
Well, you uncovered a nerve there that I really don't want to talk about right now. So
okay,
we can move on from Crash Holly.
That's fine. But I did enjoy that. I enjoyed the only thing I enjoyed about the actual 24/7 belt, the green one that said 24/7 on it, was R-Truth. Calling it 24/7, 7-Eleven, I-95.
Oh, R-Truth is great.
Yeah, love R-Truth. But yeah, that was the only good thing about that belt for me.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I feel like with the Winged Eagle belt coming out, you have to pay attention to when they show it. When they show Cody with the Winged Eagle belt. And this is why I say that. This is my feelings on this. That's going to be the first match we talk about, is Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens for the title. If they show Cody Rhodes before the match holding the Winged Eagle belt, I feel like he's going to lose it to Kevin Owens, and he's going to be chasing Kevin Owens for that belt. If they don't show Cody with the belt before the match, Cody's going to win the match so they can get the after the match shot of him with the belt, the Winged Eagle belt. That's where I feel like we're at on that.
Okay. I can see where you...
That's my logic.
Yeah, I can see the logic.
Now, that's not to say that this isn't going to be an absolute fire match. Like, it's one of the ones I'm really looking forward to on this. I've already said I love Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is awesome. And, on SmackDown, Kevin Owens, of course, attacking Cody Rhodes' ankle. So, like, he's already softening him up a little bit. And Cody's made mention of the fact the last time we faced each other, you couldn't pull the trigger. You couldn't do it when it counted. So does that play into this match? Does he get the opportunity to powerbomb him on the apron and do it? Like, are we going to get that vicious side of Kevin Owens?
Oh, absolutely.
That's
Abso-freaking-lutely.
then that's what I'm hoping for. I want that side of Kevin Owens.
I want the Kevin Owens that came out and beat the tar out of John Cena whenever he first showed up in WWE.
Same. Now, let's talk about Cody for a second. I'm going to give to you what I hear a lot when I look at things on the internet regarding different matches and stuff. I want your take on it. It's a very divided crowd when it comes to Cody Rhodes. Half the people feel like they want to see Cody get into big programs. The other half feel like they haven't done anything with Cody since he finished the story, and they need to take the belt off of him so he can chase it again.
Well,
where are you at on that?
There's money in the chase, but there's also, I believe if they do things correctly, you have a chance to do the Cody Rhodes facing the big bads.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is gonna, it's a video game reference.
Okay.
He's on level 5 right now. Okay. Level 5, he's facing the same boss as he did in level 3, which is Kevin Owens.
Right.
So we get through Kevin Owens, and we get through whatever other bosses there comes to, and then at WrestleMania time he gets the final level. He's going against the final boss.
And I get that, and I do see that. I will say that, and before you say anything, I know they've been saying it for 3 years, but WWE, people close to WWE anyway, have reported to like Fightful, what is it, Fightful Select or something like
Mm-hmm.
that, have reported to them and a couple of other people that they have plans in place to move forward at WrestleMania without The Rock. But they also have plans to pivot should he decide he wants to do something. If he wants to do something, he's going to. So
it bothers me completely that Bad Blood had The Rock show up, get recorded on camera, and walk away.
Yep.
And never to be seen again.
Mm-hmm.
Why did we even do that?
To be honest, I mean, I would call it planting a seed, but it's more stomping a seed into the ground, because the other seeds that have been planted for different things have been very subtle. This was not subtle, not even a little bit.
No, it wasn't. It was. This is one of the few things in the creative that we've had in the last year where you look at it and you go, why?
Yeah. And I will say those things have been very few and far between. And that's one of the things I love about it, is that the seeds that are being planted, we may go back to that seed 6 months from now, but you remember it.
Oh.
So,
speaking of seeds being planted and everything else,
mm-hmm.
We have the Sammy versus Drew situation that we have at Saturday night's main event.
We do indeed. And I think this, for Sammy, it's, you came in here and you knocked me flat. You hit my boy, Jey Uso. Now I got to beat you.
Mm-hmm.
For Drew, it's a Saturday. Like, it's a Saturday. I'm going to go beat up Sami Zayn. My thing about this is, what kind of interferences are you going to get in this? Do you get Seth coming out? Do you get Jay coming out? Do you get Punk coming out to do something to... imagine this scenario. You've got Drew and Sammy going at it. Jay comes out because, Sammy, that's Sammy's boy, and Drew hit him. So he comes out, tries to interfere. Doesn't work out. Punk comes out because that's Drew McIntyre.
See,
which brings Seth out.
I I really want Punk and Drew to stay the hell away from each other.
Yeah.
Their stuff is over. They're on to bigger and better things. I wouldn't say bigger really, but they're on to different things.
Mhm.
They're not messing with each other right now, and that's going to be something that they can come back to later if tensions flare again. But let's let's keep those two apart. Let's not even put that out in the universe right now.
I agree. One thing I did read that I'm curious about is one person was throwing out the what would it look like if there were an alliance between Drew and Seth? They both have a common enemy in Punk, and both of them are upset with people for siding with Roman Reigns.
Okay, I can see it.
Yeah, it made me stop and think for a minute when I read it. I was like, that's a valid point.
Definitely a valid point.
And the linchpin of all of these different feuds is Roman Reigns.
Mhm.
You know, Solo Sikoa and the new bloodline, it's Roman Reigns. The fact that Drew is beating up Sammy and Jay
Roman
is
Reigns.
because of Roman Reigns. Seth being upset with and having a fight with Sammy.
Roman Reigns.
He's the linchpin for all of this, and I want to see what happens when somebody pulls that pin, because I have a feeling it's attached to a grenade.
Ooh, yeah.
So that's going to be a wild one. I do think Sammy goes over in this match.
Okay.
I don't think it hurts Drew at all, and that's why I feel like somebody's going to come out.
I feel like we don't get a. I don't think we get a definite winner.
You think it goes to no contest?
Oh, absolutely. Double
Okay.
disqualification, double count out. Something along those lines.
Makes
That
sense.
way we can continue the story. It's too quick for it to be having a definitive winner one way or another.
True. I can see that. I can go with that.
And with the storytelling that Triple H has been doing,
Nothing's quick.
Nothing's quick. I'm really surprised that this just got on the card.
Yeah.
You know,
So we have Cody versus KO for a belt. We also, one we're going to talk about next, we have Liv Morgan versus Io Sky for the women's title. And I'm excited about this match. If we don't get Rhea Ripley coming out, we don't get Raquel Rodriguez involved. Because if Raquel Rodriguez gets involved, Rhea Ripley's going to get involved.
Yeah, well, we touched on that earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said earlier, Io is a world champion.
Mm-hmm.
And she deserves to be treated as such. She needs to be. It needs to be a main focal point. I know Liv is at the point right now where she can't do anything on her own. And everything that she has done, as far as any success that she's had lately, has to do with Dominic
or Raquel.
Or Raquel.
Yep. And it's making her a weak champ.
Yes and no. I remember specifically some of Ric Flair's title runs that, if it wasn't for the Horsemen, there wouldn't be anything going on with it.
That is fair. I mean, that is probably the first time I've ever heard Liv Morgan and the Horsemen in the same breath, but it is a fair fact.
She has surrounded herself with people that can do her dirty work for her.
Very true. Very, very true.
And she's reaping all the benefits for it because she's the mastermind behind the whole thing. So,
with Io, do you think we get, we talk about different interferences, like I hope Raquel Rodriguez doesn't get involved. I hope Rhea Ripley stays out of it if she does get involved, that whole kind of thing. Do you think we see Kairi Sane?
I feel like if something ends up happening if something ends up happening where we have Raquel or whatever getting involved, we may see a return of Asuka to
That would be cool.
actually be the collective equalizer.
I could see that. I don't see it happening, but I would like to see it happen.
This is a big show. This is a big show. There's going to have a lot of people on it. It would be a perfect time for something big to happen, a return of some sort.
Agreed.
And
I have to look up a match real quick.
And Asuka would get that big pop, and it wouldn't really reveal much of anything else with it.
I could see that. Like I said, I don't see it happening at this show, but I would like to see it happen at this show.
Yeah. I mean,
right.
honestly, if these two get in there and they actually just go and they have a good match together, it has a chance to steal the show.
So, talking about the women and the women's division, we won't know exactly what the match is going to be until SmackDown's over. Is it the women's U.S. title or the women's Intercontinental title?
Intercontinental's on Raw, U.S. title's on SmackDown.
And we have Tiffany Stratton, which I got to say, her win on Friday was outstanding. She did a good job. We have Chelsea Green.
Mm-hmm.
We have Michin. And I don't remember who the other one is.
I really hope Chelsea walks away with the belt.
Chelsea needs a belt. Chelsea is so good at what she does. But from her facial expressions to her moves in the ring to the surprise when she does something good, I mean, she does so well in the ring. And I feel like it's time they put a title on her.
I agree. And it would be good for her.
I think so. You have to give me just a second. I'm looking up because it's bothering me that I can't remember who the other person was.
Is it Bayley?
I think it is Bayley. At Saturday night's main event, fans will learn who the first person to hold that title is going to be. And it doesn't tell me. I'm pretty sure it is Bayley. I think Bayley is the other one. So you've got Bayley, you've got Michin, you've got Tiffany Stratton, and you've got Chelsea Green. I hope it comes down to Chelsea Green. I want to see her win that belt. I want to see her get some recognition because she deserves it.
Oh, most definitely.
100% she deserves it.
And anything to keep Tiffy away from her.
Well, set aside the fact that I can't with her. Tiffy time. Set that aside for a moment. What sense does it make to put the U.S. title on her while she's holding
it doesn't.
Money in the Bank? That's the thing for me that kind of keeps it away from Tiffany Stratton. Is it doesn't make any sense for her to hold the Money in the Bank and be the U.S. title holder.
No, it doesn't. And really and truly, we don't need Bayley to end up winning it, because if Bayley wins it, then it's just like, oh well, she's just relegated to a smaller thing.
See, and I don't see it that way. I see if Bayley wins it, she is the first women's United States champion. And that's a big deal. I mean,
it is.
Just like Liv being the first, what is it? I forgot what it's called. The belt that's this big.
The Crown Jewel Championship?
Yeah, she's the very first women's Crown Jewel champion. Like, that's a big title to have. And being the first person to have a women's mid-card title, I think it's a big deal. That doesn't mean that I want Bayley to win it, because I want Chelsea to win it. But it makes sense to me for Bayley to take it and have that accolade under her, for lack of better terms, under her belt.
I see it. Now that you mention it that way, I do see it.
But you can't count me shit out of that either.
No,
So it's gonna be a good tournament on SmackDown tomorrow night, and I'm gonna miss it because your boy's gonna be hanging out with the Undertaker.
well,
So I'll have to check it out when I get back.
there's this thing called a phone.
Well, that's what I'm saying. When we get back to the hotel, I'll have to check it out there.
Yeah.
That leaves us with one more match that's been announced, and this is a big one. Gunther puts the belt on the line against not only Damian Priest, but Finn Balor.
This is going to be very interesting. I'm not a big fan of triple threat matches, as you well know.
I do know very well.
You know, I feel like this one actually has reasoning, and I feel like this one is actually the right cards are in the right place for everything to happen, and this is going to be a very solid match.
Yes, I mean,
And
just from the names in the match, it's gonna be. You've got to figure on a solid match.
I mean, you're gonna get some shenanigans. You're gonna get some stuff because WWE explicitly says, you know, these are no disqualification because blah 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 blah, which, you know, my feelings on. So, I mean, you're gonna get some stuff like that, but I think it's gonna be with Gunther in the match. It's going to be as limited as possible.
If I'm Gunther in this match, I'm going to find me a corner and some popcorn and watch Damian Priest and Finn Balor beat the hell out of each other, and then pin whoever wins.
That would be definitely a good way to do it. But Gunther's not that guy.
No, Gunther's not that guy. But I say that to talk about the animosity between Priest and Finn Balor. This is not only like this is for the title. This is for Gunther's title. So what did Finn Balor say to Damian Priest? You will never win a title as long as I'm around. I will never allow you to win a title. Now he's in a triple threat with Damian Priest. So how does that promise factor in?
Priest has to beat him for that belt.
Yeah, Priest has to, and this is going to sound funny when I say it, Priest has to beat them both. Now, in a normal triple threat, that's not the case. Beat this guy or beat this guy. Either way, you win the title.
No, but ultimately,
But Priest is going to have to make sure Finn is broken and can't get up before he can go after Gunther.
If it's going to happen and Priest is going to end up regaining this belt, he is not beating Gunther. He will pin Finn Balor.
Oh, 100%. And it'll come back to you never actually beat me for my title.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can definitely see it coming back to that. The animosity between Priest and Finn, and then you've got this newfound poke the bear kind of stuff between Gunther and Finn Balor, where Gunther's like, you know what? I don't owe you anything, but Dominic Mysterio has at least beat Priest, so I'll take him on. You know, just things like that. It's just like, you know, slap in the face every time he talks to Finn Balor. And so there's that. And then, of course, I think personally, especially after Bad Blood, there's a respect between Gunther and Priest.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Gunther has figured out that when Priest calls himself the king of the streets, he's not kidding. So, sorry, I'm listening to crazy noises with my grandson out there. I think I'm hoping this is, well, it's not going to be. I was going to say I'm hoping this is the main event because it's going to be wild, but
no, Cody KO
is going to be the main event. So, where are you going on this one? Who do we get? Do we get Gunther? Do we get Priest? Do we get Finn? Who is going to walk out of Saturday night's main event as the champion?
Not Gunther.
Not Gunther. Okay.
What about you?
Not Gunther. I think he loses the belt. And I think he loses the belt to Finn.
Okay, Finn is another is an option that we can do, and that puts Priest in the chase boat.
Right, which is my main reason for I think he loses it to Finn.
Okay, we're on the same page then.
I personally want Finn to win the belt and come out on Raw on Monday and tell Damian Priest, I told you, you will never get this belt as long as I'm around. And of course, he's going to win it in some dirty fashion.
Oh, absolutely.
And so that's how I want to see this turn out.
Agreed.
So that's where I'm at on it.
We're getting to the tail end of this.
We are.
How about we switch gears?
Okay.
Let's talk BCW.
I like some BCW. Let's talk it.
January 11th.
Cold as ice.
We are going to be at the TMW Event Center.
Mm-hmm.
We are bringing coats for kids.
Absolutely, and I'm glad you brought that up because this is something I've been wanting to talk about. January's cold, February's cold, and it's cold for kids, especially. Get outside. It's 20 degrees outside. Being the husband of a teacher, I've heard the stories and I've even seen it where kids are coming to school with less than adequate coats on because they don't have one. So what we're doing at BCW is we're doing a drive, and on our next show I will have a list of drop-off locations around the Levelland Lubbock area.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have a new or gently used children's coat, we bring them. If you've got it to donate it. We are going to take these coats after the show to local schools and pass them out to the schools to give to the kids who need the coats. It's a hell of a thing. Like it's like I said, being the husband of a teacher, it's close to my heart.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to see them babies cold. So if you have a coat, a new gently used coat, I will have drop-off locations for you on the next show. We will also have them on the socials. It's a good thing you're doing, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very good thing.
It's
a good thing we're doing.
Because you are on this bus now.
Yes, I am on the bus. And we're not going to say anything about the length of the bus. Like, I don't want to hear it. Okay?
It's short. I'm driving this bus, so by God, it is a short bus, okay?
No, but it really is a good thing. And we haven't announced anything just yet, but when I tell you that the lineup for Cold as Ice is going to be good, just from the few names I know that have confirmed that they will be there, it's going to be good.
Okay. I want to bring up two things before we run out of time.
Okay, bring them up.
First thing, Emilio Guzman is not going to be at Cold as Ice.
That was an upset young man when I informed him that he would not be having his he's the number one contender, but he would not be having his championship match in January.
Yeah. I called him on the phone, talked to him for a little bit. He's like, Mike, that's ridiculous. I just won. I said, I know, but I'm sorry. This one's on me. This would, I got with Tino Valentino months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And
for those that haven't heard yet, our main event,
yes,
will be Jeb Bingham versus La Máquina del Amor, the Love Machine, Tino Valentino.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be a good match.
Yes, both of these guys know each other well.
Mm-hmm.
They have faced each other in BCW whenever Jeb was still wild card.
Mm-hmm. Wild card match.
So very, very, it's going to be very good.
It is. It's going to
be a back and forth. Neither guy's going to want to lay down.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really looking forward to the action on that one.
It's going to be good times for sure.
All right, now we've got that under control.
Mm-hmm.
We have a debut.
Really?
Yes, we have.
Explain that. I'm the GM. GM, and I don't know about this debut.
He's the GM, but I'm the one that I'm the one that directs talent. So I still have a say so
Yes.
on this kind of things. But yes, I have signed the Bastard of El Paso.
Really?
Marty Snow.
Marty Snow, yeah.
Marty Snow we don't necessarily have an opponent for him, but Marty Snow will be making his proper introduction to the BCW crowd. We have got him now.
I will say this: if you've never seen Marty Snow wrestle, hit YouTube, look up Marty Snow. You'll be glad you did. You can thank me next week.
Why don't you look up Marty Snow versus Brick Savage?
Oh, yeah, do that.
Okay. And
there's an and.
Yes, I feel generous. I'm in. It's Christmas time. I'm in the giving mood right now.
You got the Santa beard going.
Yes, but at Cold as Ice, I will be making. I will be making a rather large announcement about something that is a big match that is going to be happening in our near future.
Okay. You're going to tell me after we get off air, right?
Oh, absolutely. Y'all want to know about it? Buy a ticket.
Yeah.
I got to do something to get some people in there, you know?
Now, I do want to say our last show was insane, and thank you to everybody that was at that show, because the crowd was hot and popping from the first bell to the last bell. It was great. So I expect the same out of this show. But I do want to make sure we put that out there one more time. If you have the ability to do so, you have a newer gently used coat, we will give you the drop-off locations, or bring it with you to the TMW when you come to watch the show. We will be doing something special for those who do donate coats and come to the show. And we'll have a little more information on that as we get closer to time. But speaking of time, we are in the last 3 minutes of the show. So I am going to turn it over to you, sir. Anything you want to say to the people watching, the people listening, the wrestling world in general? The floor is yours, my friend.
Okay. Well, Tony Klan, you're a clown.
Yes.
Number 2, support your local wrestling. The people that you're seeing on this local on WWE right now, like I said before earlier, Thunder Rosa, she worked for Squared Circle Pro.
Mm-hmm.
These are the people that you can go and see right now for not as much money as you can go and watch them in WWE or AEW or wherever. You know, go look at these people. This is it. This is the future of wrestling.
And to give you kind of some insight into that, let's talk about BCW in particular.
Okay.
Give me 3 names that people watching here are going to know that have been on a BCW show.
That have been on a BCW show.
Mm-hmm. I'm putting them on the spot.
Alexander Hammerstone.
Mm-hmm.
Super Beast.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mr. A-Town Down.
Yep. Austin Theory.
Austin Theory's been you take that name by itself. Austin Theory was a BCW wrestler. Like, the people that you see now start in the indies. So support your independent wrestling. 100%.
Absolutely.
Because you never know when the person you saw at that independent show is the person you're going to see on TV. So,
and it's a pretty good feeling to go, I know that guy. I watched him in Level in Texas.
there are people that I've had on this podcast that I feel like are gonna make that move to WWE or AEW, Ring of Honor, NXT. I feel like we're gonna see them on in some form of televised wrestling, and it's gonna be a good feeling to me to say I've had him on my podcast. I knew him when he wrestled in Levelland, Texas, or Lubbock, Texas, and you can do that too. All you have to do is support your local independent wrestling. I guarantee you, regardless of where you are, there is independent wrestling within 50 miles of you.
Absolutely.
That is going to do it for us tonight because we have reached that 9:30 point. Mike, thank you for being on the show tonight.
Absolutely. Anytime you need it.
I am looking forward to going to see The Undertaker tomorrow and then coming home and doing Saturday night's main event, which we are going to live stream. And I'm going to put more information out there about it. But we will be live streaming on Twitch. If I can get with the guy and make it work right, we'll put it out on all the socials if we can. But we will for sure be on Twitch. We're going to live stream our watch along for Saturday night's main event. So check that out. We'll have all sorts of fun. We might even drink some real American beer. Brother.
I don't even drink, but I'm curious to see how it tastes.
So that being said, I am Guapo. That's Mike Caldwell. We're going to see you Saturday for Saturday night's main event. Until then, we'll see you then. Yeah.